Hello everybody, this is Yoko's Otaku Treasures. I tried this a moment ago, and I used my original username. Oh my god. That's gonna take some getting used to. Anyway, I have a Dollar General story for you guys. It's not quite as bad as the Karen story, so I don't know if I would call this person just a rude customer, or if I would call him a male Karen. I don't know. You guys can be the judge of that. Anyway, I was working with the new guy. He had been there a couple of weeks, but I had only worked with him like twice. And I don't know if anybody else had worked with him prior to, between, the last time I worked with him and then last night. So I don't know, I don't know. So, he had gotten there. He had worked for like almost an hour before I went to go on my break. And obviously those of you who know, you work, obviously, you're not allowed to go and work your whole shift if you get a break and you don't take the break. Because that's illegal. And what do people expect you to do on your break? Go sit down, have your dinner, meal, whatever, just rest for that time period and not work. You're not supposed to work on your break, essentially. But since my coworker, was still learning things on the register, he came and asked me a couple times for help. And I came over and helped like I was supposed to, since I was the one on duty. I was the I guess you could say acting manager on duty or something like that, since I was the key holder. Anyway, it was getting a little busy. There was a little bit of a line, and someone had used the card-only self-checkout and didn't realize it was card. How many times can people do that and not look down and notice the card-only sign? Seriously, why did they even make it a card-only one in the first place? I don't get that. Anyway, that was sitting there like that, and he had come and asked me. I was about ready to get off my break anyway, because I was almost done. Because the printer thing needed receipt paper. And with these new ones, before they did the upgrade and, went to the touchscreen, it got to the point where if you ran out of receipt paper, you could still do your job, it just wouldn't print a receipt. But now, you can't do that, because if you run out of receipt paper, it'll log you out of the till, and you won't be able to do anything until you put paper in it. So, I figured, go on ahead and show him how to do it, because if you put it in wrong, it won't print a receipt, it'll just spit out a blank paper. Because I had done that myself once before, so I had to show him, how to do it. Anyway, there was a guy in front, and he was telling me how, people are going to this register because the self-checkouts aren't working. I'm like, and now that I'm thinking about it, at that point, the other self-checkout, the one that takes cash and card, was still accepting cash. So it wasn't that because the register the other register, the card-only one, wasn't working. They just didn't want to do self-checkout. So his logic made no sense anyway. And he was getting mad at me because I was showing my coworker how to put the receipt paper in right while I was putting it in. So, next time it happened, he would be able to do it himself instead of asking someone for help. And he was getting madder and madder as I was doing this. And as soon as I got that paper in there and went to shut the thing, he dropped his stuff, which I think was a pizza and some mozzarella sticks, on the register and said, "Never mind, I'm leaving." And he walked out. I just stood there, I'm like, okay, you couldn't have waited 1 minute less than 1 minute, because as soon as I got the paper in, I went and fixed the other register. And we still had to ring those people up, so, yeah. It didn't matter that register wasn't even working in the first place. People were still going to go to that register, the regular register anyway, so I don't get it. Anyway, I said, okay, he doesn't want his stuff. I went and grabbed the stuff, and I went to go put it back in the freezers. I got maybe halfway down the aisle heading toward the freezers when the guy walked up and wanted his stuff. And he was talking about how this happens every single time he comes in here, and that the regular registers aren't always working. They act up, they don't work, people don't want to do their jobs. They have to wait at the register, and I'm like, what do you expect, dude? when we're not on the register, we're supposed to be, we're supposed to be stocking, we're supposed to be cleaning, we're supposed to be doing other stuff besides standing at the register and waiting for customers. Because we're not just cashiers, we are sales associates / key holders, which means we have to do other things besides standing there and doing nothing, because the truck would never get done if that would happened. It would just be on the key holders, the assistant manager, and the manager to do their job, to do the truck, if that was the case. Which thankfully it is not. Thank God for that. Because like I said, the truck would never get done half the time, depending on who was working. Anyway, he was saying all that stuff, and I'm like, well, I'm sorry, but I was on my break, and my coworker is new, and he said there's no excuse that you were on your break or he's new. When he's new, you're supposed to be showing him how to use the register, not throwing him to the wolves. I don't care if it's his first day. I'm like, no, it's not his first day. He's been here a while, and before that, I even showed him how to use the register at least a couple times, and had him use the register before that. So I could show him if he was doing it wrong. Because, that's how you're supposed to. You're supposed to be able to show them a couple times how to do the basic stuff of the register, let them try it a couple times, and then if they need help with something, they can come ask you. But yeah, he was like, oh, the customer's always right. You have bad guys have always had bad customer service. I'd rather go to the Amish and get my stuff. I'm like, okay, if you want to go to the Amish, we're not stopping you. And he also said something along the lines of, if you were my employee, I would have fired you, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, okay. But yeah, his logic made no sense whatsoever. Because, yes, the other register wasn't set up yet to be used, because I had to cancel out the transaction, but the other register was working. It's not like they were both down. But yeah, the guy was insinuating that because the guy was new, I would have to stand there on my break and watch what he does. That's not what you're supposed to be doing on your break. You're supposed to be sitting down and resting or whatever. Essentially, the break is supposed to be your time to rest when you're not, so you don't have to work the entire time, because that's the point of a break. You're supposed to get a time of rest to eat and drink and rest. I don't know if this guy was drunk or what, but I covered my butt and called my boss and told her, hey, if somebody calls corporate and complains about customer service or whatever, and I told her what happened, she said that was fine. So, yeah, I didn't get as far as I know, I didn't get in trouble. But, yeah, that guy I don't know if the guy was drunk or if the guy was just a jerk. I don't know. But, yeah, that's not how things work at Dollar General. Anyway, let me know if you guys have any stories. What do you guys think of his attitude, Anyway, I'll see you guys next time.